Mentally I'll be fine. Hello. Hi, and welcome back to protoViolence. We are about 2.5 hours from me having drank an entire bottle of wine on my own, so healthy living habits there. But we are also about 4 or so hours from me having started this game. And the last time we were together, we met Deidre, who we know at this point ends up becoming Dr. Danger, and we met who I think is probably going to become Caution, and a young child named Pavel. And we are at the stop facility. We are now in the just deep into Deidre's career. Not exactly sure on a timeline on that, but I have to imagine it's pretty close to the end because she's already taken this job because she's not super duper happy with all the things that she knows the YTDI is doing. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. When we last left off, we were about to investigate Deidre's desk. So what have we got? I do want to make sure that we don't miss anything. I think that's harder to do in this game because I do believe this game is almost entirely kinetic, but I just want to be sure. Intro, Deidre's report. Once Deidre's case study is finished, she'll send these documents to stops higher up. She hopes her findings will shut the YTDI down. Okay, we're gonna press that with a whole bunch of optimism. Case study report 6/12/2070X. This report marks the 1 month point of trainee CO458's case study. In this time, I have observed several facets of YTDI's operation and now believe that I have a firm grasp of the day-to-day activities of the trainees. The majority of trainees selected for YTDI come from orphanages. Upon arrival at the YTDI, trainees are separated into squads, similar to the ones utilized by STOP field agents. Formal education takes place entirely within these squads and involves tuition in literacy, mathematics, self-defense, etc. Outside of the classroom, trainees have access to several extracurricular activities, including craft work, sports, and video games. Well, okay. I was worried that them being in this little room where it looks kind of just like a glass wall, but they were just kind of like, oh, when you're not doing anything beneficial for us, that's where you live. But it looks like they do have access to things, though probably heavily regulated, monitored, and manipulated in a way to entirely benefit the company, I imagine. While these activities are beneficial for fostering bonds and growth between children, I find it notable that they overlap with activities undertaken by STOP operatives in the recovery period after the implantation of new cybernetics. This includes sewing and... Oh, right! She did mention that sewing was a part of something. Maybe that was actually in Caution's the back of the photographs, because there were things written on the back of the photographs too. So maybe like the sewing thing was mentioned because right, because Caution had like a fascination for sewing mittens. That's why there was a sewing machine in the apartment. This includes sewing for hand-eye coordination, video games for reaction speed, etc. The standard of care appears to be at least sufficient. CO458 has expressed that it is a significant improvement over his previous lodgings. Still, I have some questions to raise with Dr. Tan later. Dr. Deidre Destrange. Okay, they're just gonna, I guess they're just gonna entirely guide us. Now there's this little notebook, the journal. Okay, this is gonna be more personal. Like many academics, Deidre has thoughts about herself and the world around her. This is where she writes them. So this is gonna be the personal approach. June 6, 2070X. part of me just wants my thoughts to blow in the wind. Putting them to paper will have to do for now. Besides, all the blue light was making my eyes... Oh God, I imagine being in an environment like that all the time. Yeah, that's no good for you. I think everybody is getting way too much blue light these days. The trainees are all orphans. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised that the YTDI isn't much different from a standard boarding school, militaristic dressing aside. Compared to how Stop's first few batches of field agents were housed, the accommodations here are downright luxurious. I was gonna say, like, everybody having this uniform was a little more, like, standardized than I thought that they would be. But again, if you're basically preparing children to become experiments that are probably going to be, I guess, military drones at some point, that makes sense. Still, that's comparing volunteer soldiers to abandoned children. A strange analogy, to put it mildly. And for some reason, the trainees' meals consist of lab script and... Oh, that's terrible! Oh, God. Doesn't matter how much you like Takis, that's not gonna be great every day. Why? It's true that lab script contains all the nutrients they'd need to grow healthy and strong, but it's intended for typical in vivo test subjects. I've seen the size of the budgets that Stop works with. They can definitely afford to feed these children real food. All right, let's make them some pancakes. At least the education is world class. Clearly Stop's spending was put to good use there. One time, Angie took me to a literacy lesson. Out of the blue, she asked the trainee to recite part of King Lear, and the girl belted it out like it was on a Switch. What, she was reading on a Nintendo Switch? She just pulled out a Nintendo... That's such a dumb... Stop writing that... Hold on. Writing this down. No more dumb, obvious jokes during videos. All right. Another time, the two of us watched as a teacher taught a squadron field pharmacy in the courtyard. If someone eats this mushroom, how would you counteract its effects with only the items in your bags? How long do they have before their airways close? It was intense, to say the least. At times, the teacher's questions felt more like threats. But the building itself is immaculate, practically sparkling. If my shoes track dirt as I walk in, it's wiped away by the time I walk out. Even Stop headquarters doesn't agonize over cleanliness to this extent. I just wish that they showed as much care for the trainees themselves, like that boy, CO458. For formal lessons, I can't mention it in recording sessions, but I know his name is Pavel. Was taking his name necessary? Are they that concerned about observer bias? Again, it's not observer bias. It's just to divorce themselves from having to think of these children as people and look at them only as things. He's an orphan. His name might be the only thing his parents ever gave him. Why scrub it away like it's something dirty, a stain to be removed? The boy's lonely too. Yes, he has Shiria, but she isn't part of his squadron. His pre-assigned social group. His squad mates exclude him outside of class. They don't let him play with them, so CO458 is often in the arts and crafts center sewing or knitting by himself. And it's not much better in class. Kids roll their eyes when he's paired up with them for group tasks. Sometimes they'll go behind his back and ask the teacher if they can swap for anyone else. Thankfully, the teachers never concede to CO458's squad mates, but that hasn't stopped them from asking anyway. I think a lot of this could be solved if the kids weren't pitted against one another. Oh, Deidre, you are too good, too naive. All the trainees have their hobbies, but CO458 doesn't have much else. I know he likes superheroes, so I'll bring him some comics from the YTDI's library. Knowing Stop, I suspect the books there are vetted, so there's still a chance I might find something that'll make him smile. Maybe I could even use it to teach him. It certainly doesn't seem like any of his actual teachers are interested in personalizing the learning experience. Oh, I also bought a pack of stickers for him. Do children his age think grape stickers? Oh, of course. Of course his love of grape stickers is because it's something that Dr. Danger instilled on him or helped him come to, because it's something that she did for him. We didn't see this in the playthrough much, but like, depending on how well you're doing in terms of the investigation portion of the game, when you're having the confrontation at the end of I think it was the second room with Caution, he'll say, oh, you're doing good enough to get an, you know, like, we got a grape sticker. You know, he said, I'll even give you a grape sticker. But if you're doing like worse, like, he has like other flavors that are worse, and I think the worst is like durian scented. Durian scented. So yeah, this is where his like love of stickers comes from. What am I doing? I'm no child psychologist. Couldn't even qualify as a pediatrician. I really jumped into the deep end with this case study, didn't I? If I weren't senior staff, I'd probably be sacked by now. Maybe grape is lame. Maybe orange is the way to go. God, I don't even know anymore. There's a really good orange flavored Coca-Cola to date this video. There's a really good orange Coca-Cola that I had the other day. I don't like soda that much, but I definitely, since I like orange chocolate, I kind of figured, okay, I gotta try the orange Coca-Cola. But despite me thinking that those would be two flavors that tasted like ass together, nah, it's pretty good. Guess there's only one way to find out. D. Compooper. Intro. Deidre's computer, an old PC maintained with love. This is where Deidre keeps recorded interviews for her case study. Oh, is this how this is gonna be formatted, where the day will change and then we inspect all three of these items for different, you know, like there's the formal, informal, and then the actual interview. This is how it's gonna go. Hey, how's it going? Oh my god, the animations are real. Oh my god.
All right, CO458, I've started recording.
Look at this little dork dancing back and forth. Oh, he's so good!
Before you fall over from all that wiggling.
Commence to wiggling.
Yay!
You can enjoy some wiggling as a treat. I'm not gonna be the one to tell this kid he can't wiggle when he wants to. I'm just super excited. I'm glad to hear that. But you can relax. We're just talking today. Really? Whew. My cheeks are numb from all the grinning. I can imagine. In fact, I think I did the same thing in my school photos. You did? I guess so. Though I'd stopped because, well, it made me look like a dork. All right, you're calling me a dork. I love this kid. That's pretty harsh. How did you still... All right, Pavel, you are all right. I'm a fan. Okay. Have you ever been called something like that before? A dork? No, never. Oh. Well, maybe if you show me them, I will destroy them in your name. But the other kids don't know anything, so it's their loss. What don't they know? That when I grow up, I'm gonna be super famous and super pretty, and I'm gonna have 1 billion friends. Goddamn right you are. Goddamn right you are. You should see your hair. It's so good. Cross my fingers for you. Anyway, we're starting to veer off topic, and I only have so much time, so why don't I ask you some things? Okay. What do you want to know? For today, I have 3 questions. A pop quiz, huh? Okay, I'm ready to go. Great. Then let me just get my papers out. There we go. First question. How did you come to join YTDI? What do you mean? I mean, before you became a trainee, where did you live? Well, I lived in an orphanage. Oh. And what was that like? I don't remember much, but it was pretty lonely. There weren't many others there. No, there was a whole bunch of us, but we shared rooms and beds and the adults' attention. So you weren't treated as an individual? Yeah, I wasn't. A lot of us ran around. It was pretty noisy, but I was always bored. When it wasn't mealtime, school time, or chore time, I was stuck in the common room with most of the others. And because we had to share so much, we fought all the time. Really? Yeah. Like one time I wanted to play with the Scrabble board, but another girl said I couldn't have it because all I did was trace the board's grid with my fingers. So I said to her, "Nuh-uh, that's how you play Scrabble." And then she said, "You're always doing stuff wrong." And then I made a face at her. And then she pulled my hair. And then, I'm assuming you both got into trouble. Oh. Got in trouble for just being a kid and doing kid things. And I have to imagine that because adults are actually terrible, this poor child was greeted with a punishment completely not suited to the crime. I scratched her and she started crying, so I got punished. I found the rule book later. She was right. I was playing the game wrong. I said sorry, but the way I played was fun too. You can make your own fun. There's nothing that says you can't just make your own fun. Come on, man. I like how his hair fits the mood. It's like, oh. How were you picked for the YTDI? I have to imagine you were just, oh, you were just seen as a trouble kid, so we just threw you to this facility that's probably going to do horrible experiments on you. You seem different from the other trainees, at least compared to the others in your squadron. I don't know. One day, these people in white clothes came to the orphanage. They didn't want to play or talk or anything. They just watched us for a week or so. Then this loud person told me and a bunch of other kids that we had a a bright future ahead of us. A bright future? And then they brought us here. You must have come from a world away, huh? I don't think so. I fell asleep on the bus because I couldn't sleep the night before. And when we got here, it wasn't even lunchtime. I was wondering if the name Pavel was going to be an indication of where he came from in the world, but I think I think they're going to remain purposely vague about where this game takes place, which I think is usually a good call. I think it's maybe like, unless you're doing something super duper specific to a certain area, there's probably no reason to go like, you know, like specifically where you are in the world in fiction. I think sometimes it's just better to kind of let the reader intuit that in some way, or, you know, or just infer it. That's just how I feel, though. I'm probably wrong. I'm literally wrong about everything, so don't ask me for a definitive answer. I see. Let's move on to the next question. Are you getting along with your squadron? We're all supposed to get along with the squadron. I mean, I guess that lines up with what Angie told me, but It's okay. You can be honest with me. Okay. Most of my squad mates are boring apple polishers. They hate me just because the teachers get mad at me and it makes us stay in class for an extra 10 minutes. It's not my fault class is dull. And it's not like my doodles are bothering anyone. Did you know any of your squad mates back at the orphanage? No. For some reason, I was put in a different squad from everyone else I knew. Squad sorting must be done randomly. Trying to avoid pre-established social grouping? Sorry, I just had to jot something down. What about your roommate? What do you think of her? Roommate. You mean Sherry? Well, she's really quiet most of the time, but once you get to know her, she's really smart and kind. And most importantly, she's my best friend. Oh, something so terrible is going to happen to that poor girl. I hate this game. I know what you're doing to me. You told me that when you introduced her to me. Yep. She's also my first friend. And I guess my only one. When class is done, we talk about whatever we want and do things together. Oh, and she teaches me all kinds of stuff. Tutoring? Like a few weeks ago, she taught me how to do. Oh, this is why he does his hair this way. It's not like he has like natural. Okay. It's because he's got. Oh, he's got a little band there, and she put it there for. Oh my God, that's adorable. He did mention wanting to be pretty too, so that's really cute. Huh. So that's why you have a hairband there. Mm-hmm. I wear it all the time now. Is there anything else you do together? Filling in coloring books? Playing Mary Mac or A Sailor Went to Sea? Oh, and we read. Though Shiri is way better than me at it. Like, way better. I heard the teachers say she was 2 reading levels ahead of the rest of her squad. Wow, that's genuinely impressive. I know, right? She's so cool. She's so dead, man. Which brings me to my third and final question. When Shiri's not around, what do you like doing in your spare time? Sewing and knitting. When it's break time, I go to the arts and crafts room and make stuff. So far, I've made a placemat, and a headband, and a scarf. I could show you them sometime if you want. Maybe another time. Okay? Just let me know when you change your mind. Actually, there's one more thing I like doing. But the teachers say it's not proper. Shoot. The word's right on the tip of my tongue. I know it begins with a L and... Is it literature? Yeah, that's the one. I always like reading comics. Anyways, I like reading comics. There's a lot less words than Shiria's books, and they're filled with cool pictures. I wish my art was that cool. Well, you know what they say, right? Practice makes perfect. If you keep going, you'll get where you need to be. I'm one step ahead of you. That's why I doodle in class. So I can get good fast. This kid's expediting his artistic talent. And this kid's got more drive than most of us that want to. This kid's got more drive than most of us that want to draw. I tell you that. Is there anything else you enjoy doing? Well, there's lots of stuff I want to try, but class and homework's always in the way. Bleh. I'm sorry. I hope you can get more free time in the future. Yeah, me too. So, that's all the questions I have. I think I'm comfortable stopping here. Huh? Are you leaving already? Yeah, I'm afraid I'm still playing catch up with work. Playing? No, you know how you, oh, I get it. You've got homework too, huh? You seem like a very busy lady, Dr. Deidre. More so than usual. But I should have enough time to dig out my Scrattle board. You have a Scrattle board? I do, right in my basement. Or was it in storage? Either way, I'll find it. And we can play it whichever way you want. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. You shouldn't underestimate me, though. You're talking to a Scrattle champion. Or, ex-champion. It's been a bit since I last played. Whoa, a Scrattle champion. I really do have to go now. But here, please take this. Consider it a thank you of sorts. Oh, the grape sticker. What? What's this? It's a special kind of sticker. If you scratch it... Whoa! It smells like grapes! This is too adorable. Look at his hair! Oh my God! Oh, you can feel the heartbreak coming, can't you? You can just feel it! Yeah, it sure does. Is it cool? Thank you, Dr. Deidre. And, thank you for talking to me.
See you next week, yes?
Keep bringing in awesome stuff like this, and I'll talk to you every day.
Oh, that's too good. What's this? Intro, Deidre's phone. Sometimes Deidre needs Iris to lend her an ear. As Deidre's former supervisor, what advice can Iris give her? Oh, okay. So is this, I think this is the structure. All right. The craft center was nice. I mean, that's gotta be a good sign, right? A good sign and a good thing are different matters. Come on, help me out here. Help isn't what you're texting me for, is it? Besides, I'm a lot more concerned about the militaristic conditions you've reported. That can change. Yet every time you critique some part of the YTDI, Dr. Tan seems to resist. Oh, so she's not like entirely bought in yet on this being a bad thing. She's like, in her mind, like right now, like she's having a natural defense mechanism where she's kind of like defending it in a way, but not like to the point to where she thinks it's awesome to experiment on kids actually, but more just like she's trying to see the good parts of it because this is still part of her research and she wants to try and salvage some of that part of everything she's done. That's actually really cool. Angie's always been pretty rigid. She's not a bad person, just very by the books. Dr. Tan is an associate director. She's been around for so long that she writes the book. No one's forcing her to stay where she is. I could easily have been in her shoes, Iris. Oh, why is there something on my glasses? No, I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wipe my glasses and burn time. Sorry about that. It was bugging me. I fried something earlier tonight and I guess some of the grease popped up and got on the lens and I didn't even notice it until now. Not with her scruples. I've never worked directly with Tan, but I know her reputation. She's got a savior complex. That's dangerous. What? She just wants to help people. I'm sure she believes that, but she works in cybernetics. And when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You haven't seen her with the trainees. Every time we pass by a group of them, she smiles and waves, asks how they're doing. And I think that that's just like a mechanical part of her personality. Again, there's just something about her that rubs me the wrong way. I can't tell you what it is, but there's something about her personality I'm just not the biggest fan of right now. I can't explain it. And they give her the biggest, sweetest smiles back. And like, I feel that she's manipulating that. They don't do it to any of the other researchers. Deidre, she's my friend, Iris. You're one of the brightest people I know. Maybe the best of your generation. So why are you looking away from the truth? You've seen the lab script, the classrooms, the panopticon. You don't owe Tan your trust, or anyone at Stop for that matter. They've given their stamp of approval for all of this. It smells rotten. We can heal that rot, if you say so. Oh boy, she's full of great big ideals. So there's a naivete here that I wasn't expecting. I just want to have faith in the colleagues and friends I've worked with for years. We've made the world the safest it's been in decades, so I'm positive that things will get better. Angie included. Even a genius can't change the mind of someone who's not listening. That's why the case study needs to go on. I will make them all listen. Right. Anything else you wanted to discuss? You know that trainee I chose to work with for my case study, CO458? I brought him a grape-scented sticker the other day. He loved it. Well, and I take back what I said. It sounds like it's all rosy over there. Oof. That's rough. That's rough. We're at the panopticon, and all I see now are just X's, squares, triangles, and circles. From the bridge, I gaze below at the courtyard. As the sun begins to set, its beams softly tint the YTDI's walls and the floors a pale orange. It's comforting. Even the black of the pillar in the center of the room looks warmer than usual. Warm. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd see the YTDI that way. It's worlds apart from my first impression 1 month ago. 30 days of observing classes, conducting interviews, and writing notes. And they felt like seconds. I wonder if it's my age. The older I've grown, the quicker time passes. Summer, fall, winter, spring. All of it passing like... Musing over my impending mortality won't get me anywhere. But the YTDI really does look warm right now. If there weren't other people in the building, I'd go down to the ground floor and take a nap in the grass. Right now, I'm sure some of the trainees are doing just the same. Children shouldn't have cybernetics or lab script diets. The YTDI is an affront to my research. Any sane person would agree with me. It's why I'm doing everything I can to shut it down behind the backs of the people who run this program. But I can't object to giving children, unwanted children, a home, an education, a guaranteed future. They don't have to hunt for scraps or wake up each morning and search for shelter over their heads. As long as they stay here... Hey, how's it going? Once again, Angie's voice cuts my thoughts short. Did I interrupt something? You're looking pretty contemplative. It's nothing. Could have fooled me. Am I that easy to read, Angie? Far from it. I've needed a lot of practice. Well, guess you've had plenty of opportunities to do so. So what can I do for you? Oh, it's nothing work-related. Not like I have trainee info to give you anyways. I just wanted a chance to catch up. You've been here for what? A month now? Would you look at that? 1 month exactly. Lucky guess. You want to take a stroll? They say walking and talking gets the blood flowing. Talking gets the blood flowing? Well, more than standing here and staring at nothing. Come on. We've got a lot to catch up on, don't we? We begin to walk around the bridge's perimeter. Our pace is slow, aimless, lazy even, and our conversation is just as meandering. See any films lately? Any takeout places you'd recommend? I know modern art's not your thing, but I think you'd enjoy this new exhibit, and if you don't, you can pick where you can have dinner next time. As we chat, my whole body relaxes. It's like this is the begin. It was like this in the beginning, waiting outside of the stop's headquarters, excited to take Angie out for our pre-weekend burgers and milkshakes. We were young, and the world didn't make sense, but our work always did.
Hey, D. D?
I hear Angie calling my name, and my mind snaps back into focus. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
I was just wondering if you were ready to, bring up what was going on earlier. Oh, that. No pressure. If you're not up to it. No, I am. I just need a moment. Take all the time you need. I take a deep breath to think about how to approach this. Actually, can I ask you a question? As a friend, go ahead. I'm all ears. Why did you end up working for the YTDI? The big question. It's one that's been on my mind a lot lately. You saw that classified file, yeah? Pardon me? The one with the summer... How do you know about that? A disgruntled employee blew up at us a few months back, swiped a bunch of files taken out of context, and tried to shop them out to anyone who would listen. That was around when you were first curious about the YTDI, right? Yes, people asked me if I knew about it. Of course, at the time, I have the full picture. You know those animal rights groups? The ones with ridiculous PR teams? They demonize undergrads for dissecting rats. Blast the web with oversaturated gory photos, sensationalized blog posts, social media campaigns, the works. Cherry pick their information to make normal scientists look vile and make themselves look heroic. But those lab researchers care for those animals like they were their own pets. There's piles of paperwork, elaborate onboarding procedures, frequent inspections on their welfare. Even on a practical level, they discourage their suffering. There aren't any rats at this facility, Angie. Of course not. Just wanted to make an analogy. You know, people exaggerating things and all that. Ah, it's gross. She is so ingrained in this now. It's just that she's already into these aren't people, these are things. You know, making a very clear distinction about animals should exactly tell you where she's at mentally. Okay, then I apologize for... No, I'm glad you pointed it out. Don't want you to take anything I said the wrong way, despite the fact that I mean it the wrong way. You were going to tell me about why you joined the YTDI. Right. We went off topic, didn't we? Everyone has the right to a bright future. Most of these trainees don't come from pleasant backgrounds. All of them are orphans. Many of them lived in places that couldn't even feed them once a day. So if STOP hadn't intervened, their futures would have been... Well, that's why I think the YTDI has potential, you know. It provides its trainees with housing, a community, a secure life. And by giving them a secure life, the YTDI will prevent future crimes. So in the long term, the YTDI will contribute to STOP's raison d'etre. Exactly. And in the short term, we're changing these trainees' lives for the better. Could we maybe get them something more than rat pellets to eat? I think they would appreciate that. Still, seeing children receive cybernetic enhancements, that just doesn't sit right with me. I understand. You don't want to be remembered as the mother of cyborg children, do you? A reasonable thing to not want to be known as! I don't have anything to say to that. She's spot on. We don't do anything here for fickle reasons. Subjects are only ever cybernetically enhanced if we feel that their quality of life could be improved. That file you saw? All those photos? Every one of those children were physically disabled. But I saw some blonde girl, trainee 02145, I remember. Anophthalmia. Her poor vision caused her to struggle in class, so we gave her a new eye. Now her essays are on par with some of the top students in her squadron. I see. Some of these trainees came with congenital defects, others with injuries from horrible accidents. We've only ever used cybernetics to level the playing field between them and their abled squad mates. I don't know. I know where this is going. My shoulders feel lighter. My brow unfurrows. I'm relieved to hear that. And I'm relieved to know that my legacy hasn't been completely tarnished.
I want you to know if you have any concerns, you can always come and talk to me.
I don't believe that for a second. I believe that if I have any concerns, I can come talk to you and you will relay those concerns to people far above our pay grade who will do everything they can to shut us the F up.
Or just vent, if it's after hours.
Almost feels like old times.
Yeah, we're practically kids again.
Yeah, right? Hey, want to come to the arts and crafts room? Wait, isn't that for trainees? So, most of them are in their rooms right now. Even if that's true, aw, D. I'm not expecting the next cloud gate or anything. It's just to decompress. Fine, I'll come. Yes! But in return, I get to pick the restaurant for dinner. Oh, so we're eating out again? Just like old times? Just like old times indeed. Just like old times. But this is going to be where we call it for now. Yeah, okay, so this is the structure. We're gonna look at all the stuff, and then we're gonna probably have a scene afterward, and we'll probably do this a couple of more times, I have to imagine. So that's cool. That's a fun little structure. I like that. So that is gonna do it for us and our proto-violence journey for now. But yeah, this is going about exactly as I thought it would. This is gonna be a nice slow roll towards Ouchville for our emotions, but good stuff so far. The writing is just really top notch. They're really kind of making you feel these characters. They feel very, they're very dialed in. Our time with Pavel was absolutely adorable. I can only imagine it's going to be even more so, just so they can gut us later. But yeah, this is good stuff so far. This is really kind of the writing I was hoping for and expecting when I found that this was going to be a prequel. So that's gonna do it for now. As always, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever you are, and we'll catch you right back here next time. So, until then, bye-bye!